In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Samsung Galaxy A07. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out there. We have the brand new Samsung Galaxy A07. This is courtesy of wirelessplace.com. So if you guys do want to pick this up, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can go ahead and get a little discount right there. If there is a discount code, I'll leave that below the shopping link as well. But as you guys can see, this is going to be coming in its dark green color, which we'll see how good that looks in a second. This also comes in light violet, and of course this comes in gray. Under the hood, for the base model, we have 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of internal storage. We have the Helio G99 instead of the Helio G85 we saw from last year. We have a 5,000 mAh battery and a 25 watt wired charge. The big upgrade to this phone as well is going to come by way of software support. Last year, we only got 2 major operating system updates. This year with the Galaxy A07, we're actually going to be getting 6 major operating system updates with, of course, One UI 7.0 and Android 15. And as you guys know, last year on the base Galaxy A06, we only had a 60 Hz refresh rate, and we now have a 90 Hz refresh rate. So beautiful to see it. Let's go and unbox this and see how this looks. All right, so we have the phone on the top right here. We're going to go ahead and put that to the side. And the only other things we get in here, of course, is our SIM ejector tool. And of course, we have our USB Type-C data cable and our certification and warranty information. Let's go ahead and take a look at this color though. So as you guys can see, this is the dark green color on the Galaxy A07. I actually think this color looks really, really nice. Great choice on my part, I'm thinking. But as you guys can see, first and foremost on the back of this device, we have a dual main camera right here. The main camera is going to be a 50 megapixel wide angle camera, and our secondary camera is going to be a 2 megapixel depth camera. This is going to be able to record at 1080p at either 30 or 60 frames per second. And as far as our IP certification, we have IP54. So this is going to protect against dust and of course water resistance against water splashes. Of course, we have that Samsung logo at the bottom right there. And we have this nice little transitional effect when we turn the phone from side to side in the light right there. I think it actually looks pretty decent, especially for this price tag. Right side of the phone, we also have a power button that doubles as our fingerprint sensor, and just above that, we have our volume up and down rocker. And as you guys can see, this is going to be using the new key island design that started on the Galaxy A16. Top of the phone, we also have a noise canceling mic. Left side of the phone, we have our SIM tray, and we can actually expand storage via micro SD card. So beautiful to see that in 2025. And of course, bottom of the phone, we still have our headphone jack in 2025 as well. Right side of that, we have our noise canceling mic. And in the middle, we have our USB Type-C port. And to the right side of that, we have, of course, our speaker. Now, all the specifications are pointing to only one speaker, so this seems like it's going to be a loudspeaker, but we will be doing a test on this in a second, so stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and power on this phone. All right, everyone, so here is the brand new Galaxy A07 in all of its glory. As far as the display, it says we have a PLS LCD display. However, it does look like one of those TFT displays that if we turn from right to left or left to right, the display is going to get washed out a little bit. But if you look at it head on, totally fine. Has that Samsung punchiness and colors that everybody loves from Samsung, so it looks good. The Helio G99 also looks like it's holding up decently upon booting up and just going through the UI right here, but everything looks to be fine. Of course, swipe down to get your notifications on the left side and swipe down on the right side to go ahead and get our quick toggle settings right here. Of course, we have auto rotate, we have airplane mode, flashlight, mobile data, mobile hotspot, power saving, location, quick share, eye comfort shield, do not disturb, and our scan QR code right there. Down below this, we have our smart things and we have our modes, so it's great to see it. And of course, we have Android 15 on this device, and we are actually going to be secure till Android 21 if you do plan on holding on to this device for that long. Of course, this is going to be coming to Metro by T-Mobile, all of the carriers out there. So a lot of you are probably going to be getting this device for free. So that's great to see that this is one of those cheaper devices for people out there that just need a phone for the basic necessities. You want to call, you want to text, you want to surf the web, you want to watch YouTube, you want to take a few photos. This is definitely going to be for the person who doesn't care too much about mobile technology or phones or any of the latest features or, stuff like that. You just want a decently basic phone that can do the bare minimum. Of course, for our front-facing camera, we're going to have that teardrop notch right here, or half circle, as I like to call it. That's going to be an 8-megapixel wide-angle camera, so we have wide angle on there, and I believe this is going to be able to shoot at 1080p at 30 frames per second. But I do want to take a quick photo and see how this camera looks on here. All right, everyone, so here's how the photo looks on the Galaxy A07. It's nothing insanely special, but it does seem to give us an accurate representation of the colors that we are seeing. So yeah, nothing crazy impressive, but for the majority of people that are looking to buy a phone under $200, this is going to be totally fine, especially for the people out there that are getting this phone completely free. Inside of here, we also get our pro mode. We have our night shot, we have food, panorama, slow motion, hyperlapse. Of course, we have our portrait mode on there as well, but a pretty basic camera setup nonetheless. Of course, for the people who are getting this phone for free or getting it very cheap, because it is a very cheap device, I'm sure you guys aren't going to have very many issues with the camera. Doesn't look like we have any of the artificial intelligence features. If we hold on the home button right here, it doesn't look like we get circle to search. So no AI stuff inside of this phone. So we're not getting the UI suite that we'll usually get in the mid-range A series phones or the S25 or S25 FE. So this is going to be a bare bones Samsung experience without any of those AI features in here. The last couple things I do want to take a look at are going to be the display and of course the sound. So we're going to go ahead and test out these speakers on this device, see how those sound. And of course, we're going to take a look at the display and call it a day. We'll be back in a second. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the speakers on here. So the speakers, of course, are not good, and that's something to expect on this cheap of a device. However, I can't knock it because this is a sub $200 phone. This isn't anything that's going to be super expensive. Of course, if this was something that was like $300 or $250 or more, I could not recommend it. But yeah, speakers are not going to be insanely loud on here. Also, bass is almost non-existent on here. So you're not going to get that vibration or haptic feedback when, listening to music or watching videos and stuff like that. So speakers are not going to be great. However, they work. Next thing I want to take a look at, of course, is a 4K video on here. And on YouTube, it looks like we can go up to 1440p at 60 frames per second, downscale to 720p, which is the screen's resolution. This is going to have a 720p display. Pixel density is going to be 262, so nothing insanely crazy right here. All right, everyone, so display is totally fine, especially for this caliber of phone. Sub $200 phone isn't going to be anything insane. If you guys are wanting to get something a little bit better or a lot better, honestly, in my general assessment, the Galaxy A17 is going to be very closely priced to this device. So definitely go ahead and get that device if you want the better display, you want the better processor, you want the better speakers. That is going to be a much better phone for you to get. But if you're used to this caliber of phones, if you're used to phones that are under $200 or under $150, I feel like you're going to be pleased with this. Of course, you get the 6 years of major operating system updates. You get, micro SD card slot that you can go ahead and expand memory with. We have a 90 hertz refresh rate instead of 60 that we saw in last year from the base version Galaxy A06. We get some decent stuff inside of here with a decent battery as well, 5,000 milliamps. For a price that's pretty fair. So if you're looking for a device to play Candy Crush, watch YouTube videos, Netflix, take phone calls and texts and stuff like that, if you're doing the basic stuff, if you're not doing any hardcore gaming like Call of Duty Mobile or anything like that, I feel like this phone would be pretty solid, especially if you're used to the Samsung ecosystem already. Can't say anything super good about this phone. Of course, it's as basic as it gets when you go to a Samsung device. It is the least of the Samsung devices out there, but also I can't knock it because it's for a specific crowd out there. But if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, hit the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. This has been Safan from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.